We're back with your favorite program, The Conversations, with me, Fred Muwema. This is the League of the Genuine, where we discuss all matters dealing with counterfeits and fake products. Today, for a change, we have gone to your neighborhood. We've gone to your roadside butcher. I know many of you consider meat as a delicacy. So we have somebody from the grassroots. We have got a butcher here in the room, your neighborhood butcher, your roadside butcher, to talk to us about fakes in meat, goat meat, cow meat, that we consider to be a delicacy. Join me in welcoming Hajji Sowedi Nsubuga. Hajji, you are welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes, I think you're the first butcher that we have on the show, because I have not seen any program where somebody comes to explain issues to do with meat. But first of all, Hajji,
yes, please.
Why is it that common talk is that only Muslims can slaughter cows and goats? Why do you want to monopolize this butcher business?
In halal, actually it's called halal. Mostly, it's preferred for a Muslim, better for a Muslim to slaughter a cow, because they are the most safer people when he slaughters the cow for everyone to eat.
Is it because you have more energy or something? If I slaughter the cow, you can't eat, the taste will go away as a Christian? Why?
I know you can slaughter, but you need to keep the highest percentage of people safer. You rather leave it for a Muslim to cut.
Well, maybe we shall have a discussion on that. Anyway, most of the meat, I am sure,
mostly.
Most.
In actually the whole neighborhood is preferred for a Muslim to cut it.
And then with the Christians,
you have to just eat.
We just enjoy it there. But now you've come on a show where we are discussing counterfeits. These days, you know, almost anything is counterfeited, is faked.
Yes.
Do we have fake meat also? Are there issues in the butchers there?
Yeah, there are very many issues into the butchers. Different kind of behaviors, different types of animals being slaughtered into the butchers without going to the proper people.
Who should be?
Who
For
should
example, your butcher is in Kitintabi.
Yes, yes.
Can you talk to us about how you receive the meat? Where do you buy the meat from? And how do you ensure that the meat is of good quality for your consumers?
We actually go to meat packers.
Meat packers?
That's where we get our meat.
So how do you tell that the meat from meat packers, what does it have to show that it's of quality? Does it have any mark, anything? Yeah,
it does. It does have a few marks. It has to be checked by the authority and a well-organized team of doctors into meat packers.
Check the meat?
They do. Not that everyone checks the meat into meat packers, but the doctors inside there. The veterinary animal doctors, yeah. They are there.
What do they put on the meat to say that this is okay?
So mostly when it does come out, it has to be stamped.
Stamped on the meat?
On the meat. It has
so
to be stamped.
If the person listening to you is going to a butchery, they can see the stamp there on the meat?
Yeah. He can actually, most of the number of people actually they do ask, what's the stamp doing on the meat? And honestly, you have to explain to why it's there.
So we should buy meat with the stamp?
Meat with the stamp.
What kind of stamp is it? This ink stamp or what?
It's an ink stamp.
What color is the stamp?
It's mostly in blue.
Square,
blue. Round? No, round one. It's usually in blue, not squared ones.
So when the meat has the stamp, it is safe?
It's more safe.
Now, if this is the size of the meat,
yeah,
do they stamp everywhere? Supposing you cut the part which has a stamp and you sell, and then I come and say I don't see a stamp.
Mostly, the preferred places where they usually put the stamps, they're not being mainly taken as fast as possible.
So
Mostly,
they put the stamp where there isn't too much meat.
Where there isn't too much meat, yeah.
So the chance of cutting and selling that stamped meat is
actually it's a bit more preferred in the place where there is more beef, and that's why at times you find when he is slaughtering or cutting the meat, he goes slowly before he reaches on that side
where there's a stamp.
Where there's a stamp.
But now, Hajji, you're talking of a stamp. I am sure you have heard of people faking even stamps. Stamps for exams for schools, stamps for medical reports. What is so special with this stamp of the meat? Can't it be faked?
Yes, I know it can be faked, but mostly we do. I think the authority monitors that a lot, and we need them to come out really to mock those people who are using such procedures
of
faking. That's why we are really monitoring them. We do beg really to take a look, constant looking into the butchers.
So is this meat which is not bought from the meat packers? Some people have their cow and he sells the cow. Don't you buy that meat and also put it put it on sale? Does that meat also have a stamp?
That meat doesn't usually have the stamps, but it's very risky. It's proper for one to take that meat into authorities to be checked before it's being sold out. I don't encourage people to just buy meat anyhowly.
We've had several people speaking on this show, and they have said that there is a big challenge of people slaughtering animals which are sick, animals which have been injected with antibiotics, and then this meat is consumed, and sometimes it leads to antibiotic resistance and so on. You as a butcher, because you've been in this business for quite some time now, 6 years you said.
Yeah, 6 years.
How do you tell meat which has issues with too much antibiotics? So how do you tell? Can you tell this has been slaughtered, but this particular meat, the animal was sick? Can you tell?
I can tell.
How?
Honestly, when you take a look at that meat, it doesn't look it doesn't look the same like the one you've just got from meat packers. It's a bit different.
How?
In the looks, the color is different. At times, like bloody, too much blood in it. At times yellowish. At times it's more smelly, more drugs in it. You hear even the drugs, yeah. You feel it when you're standing closer to it. You can see it and smell it. By the look of the meat, you can tell that this meat is not proper at all.
So normal meat, how should normal meat, the consumer who feeds on meat, has come to a butcher, how should normal meat look like? What should be the color? What should we look out for?
Normal meat has not to be very, very dry. It has to be more fresher. You have to see it. By the looks, you can easily tell that this one is fresh meat or this one is not fresh meat. By its looks.
Does it have to drip a lot? Sometimes I see you hang.
Yes, hanging it, it helps one to have a look into what he is buying, rather than just putting the meat down and buying it without even taking a look at it.
These butcher, most of these butcheries like yours, the roadside butcheries, there are challenges there with hygiene, cleanliness, dust, flies. Sometimes there are those blue flies on the meat. Don't you think that causes contamination and affects the quality of the meat? And you people poisoning us?
Yes, these things do come due to the cleanness of the butcher and the people who are surrounding it. That's why I urge the community authorities to move around and take a look, inspect to take a proper look. How are they looking and how are they into what they are doing, and the cleanness of people who are living into it.
But I was looking at the standards, the Uganda National Bureau of Standards on meat storage and handling. You people are supposed to have refrigerators for the meat. But most of you butchers are just hanging the meat on something, and it is swinging there with the flies. Is that why don't you have the refrigeration? Why do you prefer to hang the meat outside?
Most cases, if you hang that meat outside, it's more fresher than the one which is being frozen, more electricity in it. It's proper for one to eat meat which is outside, being hanged, but in a cleaner place. And mostly when you have a look at the fridged meat, it takes long into those fridges. Quite a long time. You can find when it has taken a month.
In the fridge?
In the fridge. And moreover, when you wash it like this, it gets spoiled, definitely.
Yeah, but some people like to go to the big butcheries in the supermarket. You go and buy frozen meat. So you're saying the frozen meat has issues?
For me, I don't actually support the frozen meat. For me, I prefer the fresh meat, which is from where you find it, actually at the butcher. Just buying a meat which is not frozen.
Freezing makes the meat fake?
It makes the meat fake, very, very fake. That's why you have to buy meat which is more fresh. Take little what you can consume per day, rather than just keeping it into the fridge.
Again, I was looking at the standards, and because you serve the ordinary people, but again, I was looking at the standards on transportation, how you transport meat. And you must have refrigeration, the meat must not touch the body of the vehicle, but I have seen meat on borders. Motorbikes, somebody just throws the meat there. This is how you're transporting your meat? Aren't you killing us?
No, that has no problem at all. You see those boxes you see on the motorbikes, they're more cleaner, they're being washed every day. Every minute which passes by, they clean it.
They are clean, they are disinfected? They
are disinfected. And whenever the meat comes when it's more neat. Actually, the only thing I don't prefer is putting the meat into the sacks.
Some put in the sacks? Yes.
Some do put into the sacks. You find when...
that is not allowed?
That's not allowed.
Spoils the meat.
It spoils the meat.
So, from meat packers, your butcher, how do you transport your meat? You also put on the border?
We do.
Some even put on the shoulder here. They wear a white coat and put it on the shoulder. You see them running with it.
Yes, he has to put it in the box.
It has to be in the box?
Yeah, it has to be in the box. That's why you find him carrying it up, trying to put it into the box. But it doesn't affect anyone. Doesn't bring any infection at all.
So, we are going to take a break, Hajji Sowedi.
Yes.
I know you've already explained why only Muslims should slaughter. I think we shall have a debate on that. Okay. But when we return, I would like us to now talk about the practice, the conduct, the handling at the butchery, which is beyond the meat itself. I'm going to talk about the weighing and measurement of meat at the butchery, because I think there are some issues there as well. We need to take a break. We're back with the second segment of the League of the Genuine Conversations. I am talking here to your neighborhood butcher. He's giving us some insights on faking in meat, how to get quality meat. And Hajji Sowedi has been at this for the last 6 years. So we hope that you will be able to get some information. Hajji, before we go on to the measurement of meat, which
Yes.
is a source of faking, I was looking at a World Health Organization report, and it says that the recommended national average, the amount of meat a human being should eat every year is 40 kilos. In Uganda, we are eating about 11 kilos per year. Is that because you butchers are greedy, you are overcharging the meat? Why do you think we have low consumption of meat? Is it affordable? What is the issue? Or is it because only Muslims are cutting?
No. Honestly, due to this export of meat outside other borders, that's why you find that meat is on a higher price. That's because if somebody buys it here at a low price and he goes there, he hikes it.
So
Definitely,
our meat is being exported
it's being exported.
to where?
Other countries like Congo, where that's why you find meat here, someone raising up the price, and the prices are not stable. Everyone keeps on hiking, not putting meat at a standard price.
What is the recommended price now of meat in Kampala?
Right now being
Cow meat,
15,000.
15,000. That's
Yeah.
about $3.
I
not
think
cheap.
so. Can't. It's not cheap at all. It's not cheap at all.
So that's why a few people are eating meat.
That's why a few people are eating meat, and the economy is also very down. COVID has spoiled everything. You find someone has been seated at home for a year, 2 to 3 years,
No work.
no work at all.
But now you, the butchers, you are worsening the situation. Because not only are we eating little meat, but now even when I come to buy a kilo, you play with the weighing scale. Instead of giving me a kilo, you give me 3/4 of a kilo. Tell us, how do these butchers who are cheating people, what are they doing so that our people can know?
Honestly, the way these people do their things is quite weird, but it's not that proper.
What do they do
It's not that proper for someone to give his 15,000
to buy
a kilo of meat, and yet you deduct on that. Maybe you give him a 3/4 meat, maybe half a kilo of meat. It's not proper at all.
How do they do it?
The whole procedure they do it, at times you find when they have cut these stones.
The weighing stones.
The weighing stone, yeah. At times you find when they've shaped them off.
So a weighing stone will say this is a kilo.
It will show that this is a kilo,
But he
a
has
2
cut
kilo,
it.
or 1 kilo, and moreover he has cut it.
And me as a consumer, I have no way.
You have no way of seeing, or actually knowing that
That
this stone is being cut.
So they cut the stones.
Yeah. Times you find when he runs this, like this upper weighing scale, he runs it in front a bit. So you have to
There are
monitor.
those scales which have a hook.
Yeah, at times they monitor it. Actually, they run it in front.
They change
Yeah, but that's not proper at
the
all.
meter. So that's how people get cheated.
Yeah, I think so.
But now these, you're saying these stones, sometimes they are cut. And there are inspectors who are supposed to check if your weighing scale is working, is accurate.
Yeah, they do inspect, but they do have different stones.
Oh, so when the inspector comes, they put the correct stone.
The correct one, and then he removes the correct ones, he put the fake ones after you going.
So what should we do now?
The only thing
Do we now go and we all come to you and say, Hajji, we measure your stone?
actually, most cases is being truthworthy, being trustworthy to anyone who is serving you.
So in other words, I don't just go to any butcher.
Don't
I
just
must
go
have
in an urban butcher. Try to talk to them. Please don't do this to me. And that person will be understandable.
Some people, as I was coming to this show, they asked me to talk about some butchers where they will cut the kilo, wait when you're seeing, and then they go down to pick the polythene or something. So as they are putting the meat, they take off some and give you less a few pieces. That is also a practice sometimes.
Most of these young boys who just come into this system, they keep on spoiling the thing. That's the problem with them. Keep on spoiling without knowing that this person will not come back tomorrow. But you have to be very genuine to people who are. Do you have an association of butchers in Kampala or you? In Kampala, yeah, I've never seen one. Actually, we do had Kasita, is it?
Kasita.
Kasita, is it not Kasita? It's one of the, actually tried to open up people's minds.
But regulate and
organize us. But I don't know where it ended now.
So maybe you start campaigning, you be the chairman of the butchers.
I would have liked, but the author actually the power to that.
We can support you. Now, the other thing I have heard, there is also an issue of cheating there in terms of mixing old meat with new meat. So they cut something you're saying is fresh, you are saying we should buy fresh meat. But then when they are fixing, they throw in 3 pieces of old meat. That is also common?
It's common to most butchers, but you have to first take a look at the meat they are giving you. Before someone packing, tell him, bring, let me have a look at it. Not just packing. So you have to be there and monitor.
So these people who go to buy meat at the butchers and they're on the phone and they are conversing, looking the other side, those are the ones who get cheated?
Yeah, mostly they are more cheated at the way they are. He's on the phone and someone packs it out.
When they are not looking.
When he's not looking.
Or some even stay in the car
and mostly
and just order and say, Hajji, send me a kilo. But you are saying they should get out of the car?
No, they shouldn't come out of the car. But actually, buying meat at the person you're trusting more, that this person can't even do that to me. Being trustworthy. That's why being a Muslim at times, it prefers you to be a good person and a preferred person who has left everything behind you.
So the Muslim butchers, because they fear Allah more than these other butchers.
By the way, stealing away in scale is the most punishable act
in the Quran.
In the Quran, because you can't even wait. You can't even wait.
It is a big sin.
It's a big
sin
to
cheat on the weighing scale.
To cheat on the weighing scale.
There's another thing that we have common at the butchers. I don't know if it is still there. There was a time we had a big scandal, I think 3 or 4 years ago, where it was reported that many butchers were putting formalin in the meat. And even at that time, there were stories that meat which has formalin will not have flies there. If you see a fly, it means there is no formalin. Talk to us about formalin as a form of faking meat and flies.
Honestly, I don't know much about formalin, but I kept on hearing such rumors a few years back. Even recently, if someone comes and buys meat to you, he will tell you, is this meat proper? Does it have formalin in it? So you're trying like explaining to her or him, this meat has no formalin. But
were they putting formalin there? What was the purpose? To preserve?
I don't know much about that. I've never come to it. I've never counted it in anyway. For me, all I know about meat is the way you keep it, the way you take care of it, and how does the place it is in. How is it looking?
Hygiene is number one. You have to be smart like you.
You have to be very, very smart.
So we should not go to places where the butchers are not dressed like you, they are not clean.
Yeah, actually someone has to identify himself as a butcherman, a butcher worker. And if you take a look at him, he has to show his job.
But there's a guy called Butcherman. Is he also a butcher? I think he's a musician.
He's not a butcher, a butchery.
But he uses your name.
That one is his nickname. We don't know much about him.
He's not part of you.
He's not part of us.
If you are clean, Hajji, if you are clean the way you are, and I come to your butchery, and you have flies, there are even those blue flies on the meat, I should only look at your white coat and ignore the fly?
No, mostly, if the blue fly comes, mostly, it's not fresh meat. You have to be very, very careful. It is not
fresh meat?
Yeah, it's not fresh meat.
Are you saying flies don't come on fresh meat?
The other usual ones do come, but the main one,
the blue one,
if it does come, that means the meat is not fresh.
Meat is not fresh.
It's not fresh. But fresh meat, flies do come, but little, not those many flies.
And not the blue ones?
And not the blue ones.
By the way, how long can meat stay at a butchery without getting spoiled? 1 day, 2 days?
Probably 2 to 3 days.
It will still be fresh?
It will still be fresh.
After that, it starts rotting?
Yeah.
Hajji Sowedi, we are going to take a break and talk about goat meat. Because now, so far, you've been talking about cow meat.
Yes, yes.
Okay? And in the next segment, you will tell us whether there is also faking of goat meat. And we are also going to talk about the other delicacies of meat, like the liver, the kidney, to understand whether there is anything we need to watch out for. So we need to take a break. We're back with the third segment of this League of the Genuine Conversations. We're talking about meat. Apparently, we also have fakes in meat, and we have with us here Hajji Sowedi Nsubuga, a butcher. Not the butcherman, the musician, but a butcher to
the
explain.
Butcher. Yeah.
Now, goat meat. First of all, let's start from the top. The information we have is that many of the butcheries in Kampala sell sheep as goat, and therefore you are basically faking. You're not selling us goat meat, you're selling sheep meat. First of all, is that true?
I can't tell that is true, but yes, I do understand most people do it. The highest percentage of people do it.
They sell sheep as goat.
As goat.
Why do you think they do it?
If
What's the motive?
Actually, if you have a look at these ships, where are they going? Mostly, actually, at times they are entering the same place. That's why you find someone mixing goat with sheep, due to the prices which are being hiked, maybe.
Is it that the goat meat is more on demand than sheep. Most people don't like sheep. Most Ugandans don't like sheep.
Most Ugandans do have that culture. They have a culture that Beddirandiga. Yes.
The totem of sheep.
Twedirandiga, yeah.
Most people don't like
But if
sheep.
he does come and tell you, you know what? I'm a person who doesn't eat sheep. I don't want sheep meat. So you have to notify that he doesn't eat sheep meat or she doesn't eat sheep meat. When she eats it, it will spoil maybe his skin, bringing some allergies.
And yet many butcheries are selling sheep to people who are not supposed to eat sheep. And I am looking here at some statistics. We have 16 million goats in Uganda and only 4.5 million sheep. So the goats are many. Where are these guys faking? We have a lot of goats running all over the place and few sheep. Why can't you do the actual? Are the goats expensive more than the sheep?
Yeah, at times you find goats when are too expensive. You know, at times you just estimate on a goat. You just estimate, you find it and estimate the kilos. You can't tell the actual kilos which are coming out in a goat.
Are the goats also sold at meat packers?
Yeah, they are. Goats are there, sheep are there. But it depends how you want to mix it. But you have to be very trustworthy to your customers. That's why you find, you have to tell a customer when he tells that I don't eat goat's meat, sheep meat, separate it.
But does goat meat look like sheep meat? There is no difference?
There is a much difference.
In what? Looks or what?
To the looks and the heaviness of the countenance of the ribs. But you can't tell that unless if you're into the meat.
The goat meat has more ribs?
The sheep meat has more larger ribs.
They're bigger?
More large and big.
And the goat smaller?
Smaller, big.
Because the sheep is a bigger animal than the goat. But I see at some of the butcheries, they hang something and there's a goat tail there. I've never seen a butchery hanging a sheep tail. Do sheep have tail also?
They just remove those tails, but they do have tails, but they're not being hanged outside because of the saying, we don't eat
sheep. Most people around, they don't eat sheep.
They don't eat sheep.
So if you're telling those watching that if you go to a butchery, real goat meat, there will be that tail there.
Yeah, when you're buying the goat meat, actually you have to monitor it. I said, see the tail on it. Mostly they're having tails, the goats. Mutton doesn't have a tail. It's more really open. Its behind is more open. It doesn't have any tail. And it's more fatty. That's when you can tell that mutton. That's really mutton.
Now, there is a belief by many people that it is easier to have fake cow meat than goat meat. That because goats don't usually fall sick and so on, so we should go and eat goat meat. Is that true? Are goats safer? Is goat meat safer, according to you? Because they don't put a lot of
medicine in it. Goat's meat, I can't tell much about it. But all I know, meat is meat.
Do goats take a lot of medicine, or for them they are resistant? They don't fall sick like cows. So should people go for?
Yeah, they don't usually fall sick. But the only thing which has spoiled now these animals nowadays, this fabrication of nowadays, you find this crossbreed, more injections in them.
So the crossbreeds, the meat will look a bit different.
It will look more different to these reared ones, the left open ones.
The local ones?
The local ones which are rearing themselves. It will look more different. And the taste is also different.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the delicacies about meat, and we see if they are also affect liver and kidney. There are some reports which suggest that, especially kidney, because it's a delicacy, some butchers or some butcheries will pump water in the kidney so that they get size.
So it expands.
Have you heard of that?
I've ever heard about it. But usually someone when you're buying kidney, it has to be in its normal size. Not to find it in this larger size and you just buy.
So the larger size, they are poured, they are pumped in water there.
They are pumped in water, what? You have to be very careful in buying such kidney.
So kidney is supposed to be small and
just be in a normal way, in a normal size. Not to enlarge it soft, as in too big.
That is not a
proper
normal kidney.
A
that
normal
is fake.
kidney. That's a fake kidney.
And this fake kidney, for those watching, if okay, you bought it, and maybe you are not sure, you didn't look at it. When you're cooking it, does it behave differently?
Yeah, it does. It sparkles. Bring water. Actually, when you're cooking it, water is not out of it. You might
lot of water comes
might
out.
find when there is a lot of water into the sauce.
Which you didn't put.
Which you didn't even put.
And when you put it in the oil,
it will keep on sparking. Poo, 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 poo.
That is fake kidney.
That's fake kidney. There's much water in it. I don't know how these healthy people do check it, but it's mostly watery.
So those lovers of kidney must watch out. What about liver? Because liver is compact. I don't think you can fake it.
I don't think liver is being faked. I don't think. I've never experienced one, but I don't think so.
You are only sure about kidney.
I'm only sure
The only thing is that liver will take in, if the animal was sick or is taking a lot of medicines, it all goes in the liver. So if you are your favorite delicacy is the liver,
that's where you find it.
A lot of challenges there.
A lot of challenges in liver anyway.
Let's talk about, now that the economy was opened, the bars are working, and a lot of roast meat. Let's talk about this roast muchomo. Roast muchomo. How do we know, how does somebody know that what is being offered, roast goat, roast cow, how do I know that this is, what I'm being offered is genuine? This roast?
Most cases I can't tell much about it because I know little about it.
You just do a butchery?
For me, I just do a butchery.
But do you advise that we go and buy roast there on the roadside?
Roasted meat, I don't advise someone to just buy it from the roadside.
Why?
Because at times you might find when they have mixed different sorts of meat. People are weird nowadays. You know the way they behave. But the only thing I ask the authorities to monitor that.
So that we are sure of what we are eating.
We are sure for what we are eating.
Some of the people who roast, sometimes they will have sausages there. Sometimes you see they have minced meat. Talk a bit about minced meat. Because there are fears that maybe a lot of waste and a lot of these unwanted things are just minced and then they give you minced meat. Is minced safe? And where should we get it from?
For me, all I know that minced meat is more safer when you've taken it yourself. You've cut your meat from the butchery, and then you take it to the machine and they pound it.
When you're seeing?
When you're seeing. That's all I know about minced meat. But these already made ones, I can't tell what they're mixing, what they're doing, what.
So Hajji, are you saying that even these samosas you eat, this is beef samosa, that beef there, we are not sure what we are eating? It could be, you don't know what they have put inside.
It's all regarded as meat, because I can't tell that they have put this one here.
But the sauce, until you know the sauce, is what you are.
But it's proper for one to make his own sumbusas.
At home?
At home.
Mince the meat and make the samosa.
Mince the meat and make the samosas, because the samosas are very easy to make.
Since you are in meat, I don't know, do you sell chicken also?
No, I don't go much about chicken because I'm in another section of meat.
But at home, at least you buy chicken for your children?
For me, chicken, no, really. I left chicken long time ago. Due to the news I hear from the media, websites, actually it scares me up.
They put some injections.
So much injections
in the meat.
But
the local chicken is okay. If you get it.
Unless if I go there in the village and pick it myself.
Recently there was a report about fake vegetables, you know, with pesticides, fake milk. How are you handling at your home? Milk, vegetables. Have you abandoned them?
Milk, vegetables. I abandoned meat long time ago. My milk. You
don't take milk anymore?
I don't take milk anymore.
Why? You have children. You deny them milk? They need calcium.
Due to the news I keep on hearing about milk, it scares me. And nowadays, it's even too expensive now. You find a liter at 3 something, 3,500, 3,200. That's too expensive, and that's being too extravagant.
And then plus the stories, around.
Stories around. You mix that and you leave milk.
Hajji Sowedi Nsubuga, I would like to thank you so much. You're the first person from the meat industry at the lowest level who has come to give us some tips. We would like, as you close, your message to members of the public on how they can avoid counterfeits or fakes.
Honestly, people should come to pre-fied butchers, well-known ones, not just to buy into these urban areas and just buy meat wherever you find. So you have to buy meat where exactly you have to know that this meat is examined, well checked, and proper to consume and proper to eat. That's why you have to take a proper look at the meat you're taking.
Those are words of wisdom from Hajji Sowedi Nsubuga. The key takeaway for me is, if you're going to the butcher to buy meat, please be attentive. Make sure that whatever has been cut is what is actually wrapped and given to you to take home. When you're buying meat, it's an important decision for you and your family. So we would like to end here by thanking you, as always, for being a good audience and for making a date with us every Friday to have this conversation on the important subject of counterfeits. We would like to sign off by asking you not to be fake, to buy and sell genuine always.